In today's section, I'll be showing us and rounding up everything with the NECO mobile application. So with the application, we are already, so with this, it remains making the design responsive and adaptive into all both desktop, tablet, and mobile application. So let's go straight to that. And before I move into that, so I mentioned something in the last section that I mentioned something about styles, and you can see it here. I've made a kind of little adjustment. So you can be seeing some other colors at the top. We are not going to be seeing this, but it's still the same thing, it's still the same step. So the purpose of the style is if you are looking forward to have another style or another color for their design, and if you don't create it as a style, it will be very difficult. And there is another thing which is even much more better than style, which is very good. I will not be talking much on that one. So with this particular brand color, and we have selected it to some parts of the object, this green, and this one, so you can immediately make changes and it will reflect on every part you have selected that color. So it's more or less like a component. Like this, if the company wants to change their color, you can give it a try, change it to red. Even you can change the other color as well. So wherever you have that color, it will instantly change. Just the same thing as components. So if the color want this color, which I know that nobody can combine this kind of color. So if they want this kind of color, you can make that changes very, very quick and instant. So let me move back. So that's the uses of style and why style is very important. So now let's move into the auto layout to make the design very, very much responsive. So majorly I'll be mentioning just auto layout and constraint, and we'll be using a plugin called breakpoint to show the responsiveness of it. So selecting this, so we select all these parts, all of this, we put everything inside auto layout, hold shift and A to do that. Okay, so after that we select everything we have inside. So to select it in a much very simple way, just press enter on the keyboard and everything will be selected. Then we go to the width and we set all of this to fill container, everything to fill container. Okay, but we notice that this here we don't want this also. We should have it as fill container, but we don't want that kind of size. So we now set a maximum width so that it can be responsive when it's smaller than that. So the maximum width should be, let's make that 241. That's what we have there before. So now it is still a fill container, but we have given a particular width for that thing to get to. Okay, we are done with that. So we are not combining everything at once. So we separate it into two. We have this place as the upper part and this place that is telling us more about all. So we put all of this also in another set of bottom layer. So selecting this. So everything. Okay, before that, these two as well supposed to be in auto layout. Hold on shift and A to do that. Select everything now. All of these. Put it in another auto layout. Okay, now select the text we have inside. This text is aligned, the alignment is center, the text alignment is center. Set it to the, so align to the left. That, so select the whole auto layout, press enter on the keyboard to select everything we have inside and put it to fill container as well. So this is mixed and everything should be fill container. Okay, and we notice that this also is moving to the right side. Okay, now let's select this and align this as well to the center. This is supposed to be the center. This is aligned to the left. In the alignment we have in the auto layout section, and we are going to be putting this also aligned to center. This is aligned to center. Okay, everything is still in fit container, but some things that are not moving properly, we are going there to adjust. And okay, so select this back. This is going to be having some kind of drop down inside. Now let's see how that will respond. I've mentioned it in last section as well, that the first should be on top, and as we are looking at it now, the text we have inside is at the back, so we have to bring everything to the front, and now everything is inside auto layout altogether. So we have to go down here to this alignment part in the auto layout section. Click on this icon. So we have this as last on top. You can see the preview here as well. So last on top, we think we should first on top. So instantly that will change everything we have there, and you can test the rest as well. So let's click on this and hide that for now. So switch this off, test the second one to see the preview. Okay, everything is working fine. Alright, so these as well, we can see that there is a kind of, so the height of these two things is not aligned together, but let's select the two first. Add auto layout to it, hold on shift and A. We have been mentioning auto layout, then we select the one we have at the bottom, this. So set everything to fill container. So that will do the necessary adjustment. Okay, selecting the whole auto layout here. We'll still rename it in the layers panel. So let's leave everything as still frame. Now let's give it a test. Okay, I think we are moving cool. This is moving quite alright. Okay, now let's do a kind of renaming. So this one, we have 3 auto layouts, one combining both the check result at the top and the purchase at the bottom. So now let's name this section. Okay, so let's name this container. This will be container 1. O1. And the second container will be the second one. This actually, we notice we are having 3. So this one should be container 2. Okay, the first container, so we can see probably you see this section, you see we have the container, the one at the top, we have this and the second one. And we're having another part, which is this place, we're having it as frame. So just let's label this to be details. I don't have any proper name for that now. So let's give this to the details. So we notice that this is inside the frame and this section is auto layout. And our whole frame, this home. So let's rename this as well. So just double click on the name, put slash and write desktop. Because we are going to be having 3 other desktop. Okay. So now this one that is inside the frame, we have to select everything we have inside and make sure that all this also is in auto layout. This also is in auto layout. Just select the 3, put them inside auto layout. So as well, and we'll come back to this place. And the reason now we are having constraint, if we select this place when we are inside the auto layout, the constraint panel will not be there. So the reason why we are having constraint is because all of this is inside a frame, although they are auto layout, but the auto layout section is inside the frame. So now this should be aligned to the top, and this place should be scaled. So add auto layout to the main frame, the frame. Okay. So then we select this particular side, this detail side. Then we go to the width. Notice that we don't have any constraint again because the whole frame is inside the auto layout frame. So now we select everything to be fill container like that. Leave it for now. Then we select the second section. This is details. We select the section part. So selecting the section part, also change it to fill container. Okay. Then select the whole frame. Change the alignment, the padding property, this padding, we set this side padding to 136. Okay, to have space here, and the space we are having here also should be 136. So let's quickly do that adjustment. This space also should be 136. Okay, so that everything here will be equal to each other. Now selecting all of this, now let's test it out. Okay, this is responsive based on the desktop version. And designing a desktop, the desktop design is only of, we have that's 1280, 1440, and 1920. So immediately you design you have a frame or whatever thing you are designing that is responsive on this 3 screen for the desktop version is okay. So any laptop that is more than this will be having a white space at the edge. So I think I've explained that when we are talking about adaptive and responsive design. So now let's give it a try and give it a test on both the 3 frames. And if we click F on the keyboard, you will see the frame for the desktop as well. You can see different versions of desktop. You can see one 1280, you can see 1440, and I think that's the last one is not here. This is just not of Figma. So and the last one is 1920. So now let's give it a try and see what we are going to be having when we test it on all of these 3. So just come down here to just change the side. This will be 1440. So we have it on the 1440. We are still having a cool design. So we change it to 1280, the smallest one. This is also still responsive on the 1280 design. And if you have it on 1920, that should also be fine as well. On the 1920 design, this is also working perfectly with the design. Now we want to convert it down to both desktop and mobile application. So we are bringing this down. So let me change this to 1440 to be the standard, the one that is at the middle. Okay, we are done. Now duplicate it. So click on the name to rename. We change this to tablet. Okay. So in the desktop version, just let me show us the key to be of the NECO website initially. So this should be the NECO. Let me open NECO website. Okay, now as you can see from here, this is what we are having. Okay, as you can see, this is what we are having from the normal laptop screen. Okay, if I decided to shrink it down to maybe a little bit smaller, so a tablet, we have this kind of screen. So on the tablet, if anybody is using a tablet, open it on your browser. This is what you'll be seeing on the NECO website. And if you are using the mobile phone as well, this is how it will be small on your mobile device as well. Okay, now let's design that as we have seen from that website. Now to design this, we need this icon, this logo to be at the top here. Okay, it will not be there properly, so let's leave it that for now. So select the other side as well, the mail. We need this also to be here. Okay, let's leave that. Just let's change the color to be black. It is black from the website. And let's select this also to change the color to be black. Okay, now change this to just give it absolute position, and this also change it to absolute position. Alright, we place it here. So put this one here, leave that for now, and we'll delete this because on the tablet version we don't need that, and we'll be using a tablet size of 834. So this switch will be 834. Okay, then this, the reason why we're having this, we have set a padding of 136 to this side. Click the main frame and change that to from 136. Let's give it 36. This can be 0. We don't have anything inside, we only have one thing, and everything should be, this should be 36 from both sides. Okay, we should be having 36, and this should be aligned to the left. So because it is absolute positioning, we'll be using constraint, but let's align it to this side first. And we have our logo. Where is it? Somewhere. Where is the logo? You can click from here, align to the center. So this, place it here, and let this be aligned to the left.